I'm Warren Mendes, and today I'm going to show you how to make some easy vegetarian mushroom meatballs. Mushrooms are a great way to add a meaty flavor to a plant-based meal, plus they're packed with vitamins, minerals and antioxidants, so bonus, they're really good for you too. So first of all, I'm just going to heat up my pan over medium-high heat and add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and then just in with some onions and also parsley stalks. We're going to be using the parsley leaves as a garnish and through those meatballs, but don't waste those parsley stalks to add a lot of great flavor. And as a force of habit, whenever cooking onions, just add a bit of salt just so all that moisture leaches out, and also some black pepper just so we get all that fragrance happening immediately. So be heavy-handed with that pepper. It's going to give a really good savory flavor. So we can just sweat off those onions for about 3 to 4 minutes until they're nice and soft. So while that's sweating down, we can get on to the mushrooms. I'm using some beautiful Swiss brown mushrooms here, which are going to give great flavor. And instead of chopping them, we're just going to cheat a bit and pulse them in a food processor just until they're finely chopped. So they're finely chopped, and in essence, the mushrooms are becoming our mince and our meaty mixture for this. So now those onions have sweated off beautifully. We can go in with some garlic, and then getting a lot of flavor from dried herbs. We've got some dried oregano, some fresh thyme, and you could also use dry thyme, it's going to be fine. Some smoked paprika, and then we're going to let that cook for about a minute until it's really nice and fragrant. So after a minute, then we can go in with the mushrooms, and I'm just going to add some tomato paste. Now we can just stir that all together, and we're going to cook this for about 10 minutes until any of the moisture has evaporated. So all those flavors have started to caramelize, and we've got some really good concentration of flavor here from all those mushrooms. So you'll see it's almost dried out completely for the texture of mince. Turn off the heat. Now before I give that a season, just gonna have a taste. And there is so much flavor from those mushrooms. So we'll just get that mixture into a bowl now, and then we're just going to chill it for a few minutes in the fridge. I've got the oven preheated to 180 fan forced, and I'm just going to chop some of that parsley. So we've used the stalks in the mixture, but those leaves we're just going to add into the meatballs as well. So just give them a chop as fine as you can go, but don't worry if you've kept them a little bit chunky. So this mushroom mixture has cooled down nicely, so we can add that parsley in as well. And then instead of breadcrumbs, I'm just going to use some quinoa in this recipe, and I've cooked that until about 3/4 of the way, just so it can still absorb more moisture, and then also just dried it on a tray so we haven't got any excess liquid in here. So as the final two components, I'm going to add some egg and some parmesan. If you wanted to keep this vegan, you could use some flax and nutritional yeast. So just whisk up that egg first, and then just the parmesan. Now just give it a good stir to combine everything together. Grab a tray and line it with some baking paper, and then using about a tablespoon of mixture for each meatball, using clean hands of course, we're just going to form them roughly into little balls and then place them each on the tray. So once you've formed all of those, you can give them a brush with some extra virgin olive oil or just some spray, and that's going to help them crisp up nicely on the outside. And now into the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes until they've gone really nice and dark. So while that's in the oven, you can get on to cook your pasta and heat your tomato sauce. So I've had that sauce simmering for about 2 to 3 minutes, so you can turn off the heat and we can grab the meatballs. And then these meatballs smell so fragrant, you can just go straight into that sauce just so all of them get kissed by the rich tomatoes. So once all those meatballs are coated in that rich tomato sauce, you can just go straight onto your favorite pasta, and then just a final grate of parmesan, because you can never have too much parmesan, and then just some extra parsley leaves, or you could use basil, whichever your favorite herb is, and that is done. So there you go, vegetarian meatballs made with the mighty mushroom.